Let's continue to get your reaction now. We speak to Godrich Gardee, EFF's head of international relations. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Gardee, this evening. Let's start with your reaction to the ruling.
Good evening, my sister, and good evening to our listeners. The EFF welcomes the ruling by the International Court of Justice, and we think it is a right thing to do, and it's the pathway to a self-determination of the people of Palestine. It is their inherent right to self-determination of statehood, sovereignty, and nationhood.
There are some who say that, for them, legally, they are concerned about enforceability here and whether or not Israel will adhere to this particular ruling. Of course, when you listen to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he says that they will, observe international law, but others are saying that the court could have simply just declared a ceasefire.
Well, the judgment and the order by the International Court of Justice is subject to the United Nations Security Council for enforcement. And it is at that point when it should be enforced, we will see what pans out in the world. And we know for a fact that in the United Nations Security Council, America, UK, France, and others are going to veto the resolution for the enforcement of the order of the International Court of Justice. South Africa will have to go back to the International Court of Justice for a specific order compelling the United Nations Security Council to implement its order. It will be unprecedented, by the way, but it has to be looked at and be attempted to be brought before the International Court of Justice for the enforcement of its own order.
And some have said that looking at South Africa and the work that it's done on the international stage, there's quite a lot that South Africa has done, but others are saying that this is now yet another moment where South Africa's voice is amplified when it comes to the world. Do you agree?
You will recall, my sister, that sometimes in 1960 and 1965, South Africa was a respondent at the International Court of Justice, brought there by the applicants Liberia and Ethiopia. Roles have now changed. South Africa is actually the applicant for the vindication of the human rights of the people of Palestine and for the self-determination of the people of Palestine. Israel should know better what it means to be genocidal in conduct, and they deserve everything that they should do to ensure that what they went through by the Germans in the early 20s and 30s does not happen into another nation and another set of people who actually are occupying their own land, and they are in occupation force in Palestine.
All right, let me thank you so much for your time. And as you end off there, we have also been talking about it here on the show, the significance that this ruling comes on the eve of the Holocaust Remembrance Day. But thank you so much for that input this evening. That is Godrich Gardee, EFF's head of international relations.